What's up, guys? We are taking a look at another figure in the Spider-Man Lizard wave from Marvel Legends, and we have got Spider-Man Noir up today. He comes in that same standard Marvel Legends style box, big window, artwork on the side, and then product shots and the lineup on the bottom there. So let's just do it and pull him out and take a closer look. Okay guys, here is our Spider-Man Noir figure out of the package, and this is one that I was slightly less than enthused to actually get a hold of. But now that I've got him in hand, I think my opinion has changed, maybe slightly. I don't really have any attachment to this particular iteration of Spider-Man or the Spider-Verse. That's really not my thing or where my interests lie. But he does look pretty cool, and one of the big things that I keep coming back to with this figure is that he does not really look like a Spider-Man unless you really know what to look for. You can kind of see, the webbing along the top of the helmet. You can see the big eyes, and the general shape and design of the mask sort of looks Spider-Man-esque. But for the uninitiated, you think, okay, maybe this is just some random guy. Maybe good, maybe bad, who knows? Looks kind of mysterious. And I like that. Just for display purposes, he does look slightly different while being very plain at the same time, which is kind of cool. He is a great example of parts reuse, and as always, someone correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe the majority of this figure is that, as far as the chest goes, we've got the AIM Soldier, Star-Lord, I believe the comic Star-Lord, Ghost Rider. I don't know where the legs are from, but I'm sure he's from somewhere. There's no way they made new legs for this guy, right? And then we've got the Sam Jackson, Nick Fury trenchcoat. We've got guns from Chameleon, and I believe the head is new. I don't know of anybody that looks like this. So yeah, he's a lot of parts reuse. There's almost no paint on him. So we've seen a lot of this guy before, and they didn't really go to a lot of trouble to make him stand out, but that's kind of the thing of this figure. So let's take a look at articulation real quick. It's standard Marvel Legends stuff. Head can swivel, he can look up, he can look down. Arms can go out, they can rotate, and this jacket does slightly get in the way, so keep that in mind. We've got bicep swivel, we've got double jointed elbows, and for what it's worth, these are really ugly joints. There's a lot of exposed joint there, which I don't find very appealing. And we've got swiveling and hinged wrists. He does have an ab crunch, but it's basically useless with the jacket. It really is going to impede. He can look forward a little bit, but I can't get him to go much further. He does have a waist twist. His legs can kick forward, he can kick a little bit back, and then they can go out pretty much as far as the jacket will allow them. Thigh cut, double jointed knees, nothing at the boot, but we've got a rocker and a hinge at the ankle, so for the most part it is standard Marvel Legends. Now, like I said, as far as paint and sculpt goes, there's very little paint on this guy. We've got some silver on the belt buckle, we've got a shade of gray on the mask, and we've got some silver for the goggles. There really isn't much else to speak of, and honestly, that's not a negative here because ultimately this is the character. He is black. So cast it where you can, and I think they did a good job of making him look varied enough while still maintaining a very black look, because the pants are not the same color as the chest and the arms, for example. They are slightly different hues. They may pick up a little better or worse in that lighting, but they are not the same color. I do really dig the use of the collar that they've added here on the body. We've got the nice head sculpt. I do really like this head. I think he, again, looks very much unique, but if you know what to look for, he looks very Spider-Man-esque while at the same time looking very much his own thing. He does again come with the two guns. They're just cast in the silver plastic. I don't particularly care for these. I think they look kind of goofy, kind of futuristic, a little too sci-fi-ish for me. He does come with one holster, which I'll usually, gripe about the fact that he has two guns and only one holster, but this is a figure that I'm always going to have holding at least one. So if he can hold one and holster one, or hold two, I'm good. And if you pose him just right, you can get him kind of doing a jacket open move where he's grabbing the grip of the gun, which I think is also very nice, and you can get him into some interesting and slightly dynamic poses that way. But overall, I do dig the look and the aesthetic of this guy. There's not tons to talk about, and like I said, I wasn't very excited to get a hold of him, but he is interesting to look at when you actually have him in hand. And just for the sake of comparison, if you wanted to take a look at Spider-Man Noir up against a smattering of other Spider-Men, here's a few. This is, I think, everything that I have personally, which is honestly more than I thought I had. So, just like I've said, if you didn't know he was a Spider-Man, he looks nothing like Spider-Man. So he very much stands apart from his spider brethren, but it's still pretty cool to have him alongside some of the other characters and iterations of Spider-Man from the whole Spider-Verse thing. So overall, at the end of the day, this is a pretty decent figure. He does have some slight limitations in his articulation just because of design choices with the trench coat, but you know, it's kind of what you expect for a figure that does this. We've seen that before, so it's nothing new. My only real gripe about him, honestly, is that I don't really care for his guns, and I'm sure I can figure out a solution for that. He looks unique while still kind of plain, kind of blends into your shelf a bit, blends into the shadows almost, depending on how you pose him. And he looks interesting with a bunch of other Spider-Man figures like we've seen. A bit of a surprise for me, even though I don't really care about this character, I somehow ended up liking this figure for what it's worth. So that's going to do it for this look at the Spider-Man Noir figure from Hasbro. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and share, and until next time, guys.